Many of you know my obsession with Trader Joe's movie popcorn. Well, the other day, I went off the deep end and I ate an entire bag by myself. The truth is that I was eating my feelings. Now, the Germans have a word for this, Kummerspeck. Essentially, it means grief bacon. So in this week's blogcast, I unpack the dance between grief and overeating. It's more than just a craving. It's a story of how our emotions and appetites intertwine. Hey everyone, I'm Laverne McKinnon, and welcome to the Moonshot Mentor blogcast, where I provide tools and insights to support your career growth, including grief work. Unprocessed grief leads to a loss of resiliency. Resiliency is a critical element to long-term career success. Long-term career success leads to financial stability and fulfillment. So that's why I'm both a coach and a certified grief recovery specialist. Okay, let's dive into how the other night I ate this entire bag of Trader Joe's popcorn all by myself, on the couch, in my onesie, while watching season 7 of Billions. I was experiencing what the Germans call Kummerspeck, or grief bacon. It's a phrase that describes overeating that's caused by loss. I know I'm not alone when I have an urge to eat my feelings, especially when I'm grieving or have a grief spike. Grief and eating can become intertwined because sadness can feel like an emptiness that has to be filled. So eating becomes an attempt to fill a void. Food can also be used as a way to avoid or distract ourselves from the painful feelings we're experiencing. It's important to realize that our feelings impact our bodies. When we're happy, we may feel lighter on our feet. When we're scared, we may hunch our shoulders to make ourselves smaller. When we're feeling a loss, we may feel empty. Grief can have a big impact on your relationship with your body, especially as it relates to food. For some people, they lose their appetite, and for others, the feelings of sadness become conflated with hunger. If you're struggling with grief and overeating, recognize that feelings show up in our bodies. Look to find the distinction between feeling empty and being hungry. You can do this by slowing down and listening deeply to yourself. Ask yourself, am I really hungry? Am I truly hungry? Ask yourself, have I skipped a meal? Ask yourself, am I needing comfort? Ask yourself if you're feeling empty. Now, if you need comfort or feel empty, you may be experiencing grief and not recognize it. For many people, they don't recognize that they're grieving because their loss doesn't fall into a known category like the death of a loved one. Now, grief can also come from job loss, projects not going well, uncertainty about the future. Grief is a normal reaction to any significant loss, regardless of where that loss has come from. When a loss is not recognized or acknowledged, it's called disenfranchised grief. And this is a term that was coined by Dr. Kenneth Doka. He's a bereavement expert. Acknowledging your loss is an important step in recognizing that your body may be feeling empty because you're grieving. Many of my clients have experienced a career setback and are feeling stuck. When I tell them that they might be grieving, they feel both relieved and scared. Now, many of my clients are scared to acknowledge how hard their career setback has hit them and have the mistaken belief that they should be able to bounce back quickly. Many of my clients come to me because they feel defeated, lack motivation, have trouble focusing, and are confused about their emotional and mental state. One of my clients, let's call them Alex, has struggled for a few years since they were laid off. They've been interviewing for jobs, but no offers have been forthcoming. They remain stoic in the face of searching for a job with diminishing returns, and yet they're also experiencing migraines, insomnia, and a frozen shoulder. Alex is also caught in Kummerspeck. In our work together, we have found a pattern of when Alex becomes triggered and when they overeat. So when Alex doesn't hear about any new jobs for a few weeks, they get triggered. They also get triggered when they submit a resume and don't hear back, or when they're ghosted after interviews. While it's reasonable to be worried when these things happen, Alex self-soothes through eating. Now, Alex didn't recognize there is loss from the layoff, loss of hope, loss of belief, and loss of confidence. Alex is now learning to anticipate the trigger response and practice self-compassion first. They found a friend who's on call, so when Alex is waiting to hear back on an opportunity, they know to check in about Alex's anxiety and worry. This friend knows to hold space and ask questions that help Alex be with their feelings. Alex also knows to identify an action that will be soothing to the ouch that doesn't entail eating. Like, for example, they could take a walk with their dog or listen to a favorite song. Here's the thing. Loss is a normal part of the human experience, and it happens more frequently in the career realm than people are willing to admit. As a result of this ignorance, there's shame when one experiences a career setback, failure, or faceplant. Without healthy coping mechanisms and permission to grieve, we may turn to unhealthy forms of avoidance to fill the void we feel from the loss. Now, one small step that you can take today, whether you're grieving or not, is to practice feeling your feelings in your body. Where do you feel joy, anger, confusion, frustration? Pay attention to your body. Where does it feel tense, soft, tight, relaxed, numb, fluttery? As you gain the ability to notice where your feelings are in your body, you will be able to discern whether you are hungry and need to eat, or if you are feeling empty and need to be comforted. If you need comfort, you can then make a choice to call a friend or a loved one, journal, take a walk, play with your pet, do an art project, listen to music, or anything else that allows you to receive healthy solace. Our bodies contain so much information. When we slow down and listen to our bodies, we can connect with our feelings and not misinterpret the sadness for hunger. So here's the bottom line. Acknowledging the intricate relationship between grief and overeating is the first step toward finding healing and healthy coping mechanisms. By recognizing the signs of emotional eating and understanding the nuances of disenfranchised grief, we empower ourselves to address our emotional needs with self-compassion and self-awareness. Through practices like mindful eating and connecting with our bodies, we can learn to differentiate between genuine hunger and the need for comfort, paving the way for healthier ways to navigate loss. Remember, our bodies hold valuable information, and by listening closely, we can honor our feelings and nurture ourselves in ways that truly nourish our well-being. So that's it for today. Head over to Moonshot Mentor on Substack for journal questions to help you better understand this concept of Kummerspeck. I'd love to hear more about your experiences with grief bacon, so drop me a comment. You can also visit me at Moonshot Mentor, where you can find links to all of my social and how to work with me. It's moonshotmentor.com, of course. And a very big thank you to Lynn Chen for the video and audio editing. You can find her on social at Ms. Lynn Chen. And if you enjoy what you hear, make a comment, give me a thumbs up, rate, review. It would really help me achieve my moonshot of 5,000 subscribers. Please subscribe, and I so thank you for tuning in, and I will see you next week.